Okay, I'm not used to using this sword at all. It is very good. It is very good, and don't get me wrong, but it's very slow in how it swings. But maybe I don't mind about that. I mean, you can see here that I could literally just stand here and just swing away at our opponent for an infinite amount of time, maybe until our horse goes down, I guess. Hello Reformers, and welcome back to Pendor. Now, when we left off, we were running around the Fyhrr territories, and I can't believe in the previous episode that I did not see these rogue Singalian slavers, which we are now going to be attacking, because these guys have 38 pretty high tier prisoners, and so we are going to attempt to rescue them and add them to our ranks, and hopefully that is going to result in us obviously gaining a little bit more power here and there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm literally just going to charge straight on in here, because these guys, they're all on foot, obviously, but most of them obviously do have polearms, which is going to be very difficult for us to deal with. But hopefully this is going to kind of put them into a bit of disarray somewhat, because putting them into some disarray here is always a good idea. You got to make sure that they don't attack you too much, obviously. And it's obviously a bit worrying that they do have Singalian temptresses and things like that, but hopefully we'll be able to eliminate those reasonably quickly. So let's see if I can actually do that. There is one right here in front of me, as far as I'm aware. And it doesn't really matter. That's the whole thing. It doesn't really matter whether we lose too many units here, because if you think about it, we do have the potential to rescue 30-odd numbers of prisoners. And so that is going to make a big difference to, you know, us being able to just get back all of our strength and actually turn out a little bit stronger than we were beforehand. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, I'm just going to continue to help this fellow here, because I think he might actually have some issues. Do you want to get away from here? Thank you very much. I mean, I think he's making a bit of an error there by sticking around, because these guys, they can do some pretty decent damage, especially the temptresses as well can deal a lot of damage if you allow them to. I'm actually being shot by something. What am I being shot by? I'm not seeing anything nearby to me. I mean, that was the thing. I actually just saw that temptress. She shot me in the face, pretty obviously, but I haven't seen anyone else. Ah, hello there. Yes, there seems to be someone shooting me over here, but that's okay, because we are actually winning this. And hopefully that will then mean that we'll be able to make our band of, well, I was going to say merry men, but we're not that merry, are we? And we're not all men either, but yes. Anyway, point is, we're hopeful that our band is going to be a lot bigger and a lot better than it was before. And I hope we can just actually go. Oh, I'd like to take one of these Singalian temptresses prisoner if at all possible, because I'd like to see how much they sell for to the ransom broker. Yeah, there we go. We actually did do it. Managed to do that very nicely indeed. And it seems like there's only 3 enemies remaining. Nice. Yes, of course. The Singalians, and indeed generally anyone that happens to be on a horse, is going to be very tricky to eliminate, because they always tend to be a bit slippery when it comes to actually taking them out, and our allied AI is not particularly good at intercepting them, shall we say, so they tend to go and indeed follow them behind them all the time, so they don't try to anticipate where the enemy is going to be, which is obviously a bit of an issue. But there you go. 9 renown, 20 morale, not too bad, and we were able to take 13 of them prisoner. That's pretty good. I'm going to allow our people just to take whatever they want here. And that is a fantastic weapon, if I may say so. That is very nice. It is, obviously, on the one hand, it is a lot slower than what we currently have. It's not a lot slower, but a little bit slower. But the weapon reach is crazy good. So I'm gonna try and use the Singalian Noble's saber, instead of the other thing that we were using. And I believe we are using a lame Jatu horse. So let's use instead stubborn Jatu horse, I suppose, until the other one is repaired or healed. And let's take a look at our captured enemies as well. We do have a whole bunch here, and oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so we actually didn't lose that many. I actually thought that we were going to lose a lot more than this, which is kind of a shame. But I've already swapped out my brigands and everything, so me having these is, I guess, okay. Well, I mean, what am I going to do about it? That's the whole point, because, I mean, yeah, I don't really want to take the Ravenstern units, and I don't really want to take the Empire units, so I guess the only thing I can do is literally just take the Mercenary Warriors, but I don't have that many spaces, and these Worshippers, I mean, technically these minions level up into Worshippers, and then become Heretic Magnus units, which we know to be very, very good, so it would be nice for us to keep those guys around. We can actually lose this Mercenary Infantry because, well, they level up into Mercenary Warriors, so that makes sense. And is there anything else we can do here? Pendor Bladesmen. Are they any good? I'm not entirely sure. They don't seem to level up into anything, so I suppose I could take some more Mercenary Warriors because they do become Mercenary Sergeants, which are, in my opinion, very good units. I mean, you can see here they're wearing basically plate armor, plate helm, boots, gloves, etc. And they do have a pretty sturdy shield as well. And our Doom Guide is still alive, which is pretty amazing. I was actually thinking of maybe getting rid of the Veka V Sentinels for these Mercenary Warriors, because the Sentinels, while they are very, very good when it comes to ranged combat, they're not particularly hardy in comparison to the Mercenary Warriors. So I guess I'm going to take those instead. And maybe what we want to do is lose one of these Empire Armored Crossbowmen, because we are at war against the Empire, so it's probably not the best idea. We're going to lose some Cobra Warriors as well, and we're going to go with that. That sounds pretty good to me. Alright, so we were able, I think, in the previous episode to get that Enterprise up and running in Valenbray, which is pretty nice. I think we were able to do that. Let me just take a look at my budget here. It seems like it obviously hasn't, gotten up and running just yet. So it seems like I might need to go elsewhere, because, I mean, that's the thing. We already have an Enterprise in every single Dashar town, with the exception of Ishkomen, obviously, because the Lord there does not really like us that much. And I do have something in every single Sarlian town. Don't I? Let's actually just take a quick look at that. Sarlian, Laria, Ethos... No, not Ethos. Avendor, yes. And Marlians, Laria. Yeah, that's all very well and good. And then Nautar, obviously. Torba and Singal. And, yeah, obviously Ishkomen. And then, obviously, we have Windholm. And we have Yavexholm. And I think, is that actually it? Yavexholm and Windholm? Huh. It seems like that is actually all I have. Oh, and that's actually all they have. Oh, okay, I actually thought they had 4 towns, but it seems like that's not the case. Okay, so yeah, the only other factions that we have to buy anything in, even though we actually have quite a few in the Empire already, are the Ravenstern. So it seems like we're going to have to head up there and see what we can do about maybe eliminating a couple of Ravenstern vassals, and hopefully along the way try to level up some more of our Sarlian units so that we can finally get some of those Sarlian halberdiers, as that is obviously going to make a huge difference. Oh, there's Sir Rain. Yeah, it's going to make a huge difference to the fellow that gave us the task in the first place, which happens to be Lord Andre. Okay. Okay, so Mercenary Cavalrymen, I wouldn't mind taking these guys, actually. They seem pretty awesome, but obviously we do have a pretty full party as it is. And let's actually just take a look up here, see if there's any ransom broken. No, there isn't. Okay, well, I'm going to sell some of our stuff here. I actually do have some arrows here, which might make sense for me to keep, because obviously I do have a bow on... Who does the... Wait a minute. Does Ides have the bow, and didn't he leave? I think he might actually have the bow, and he's left with it, which is kind of amusing. So that's not particularly good, if I must be honest. Okay. Well, anyway, let's see if I can sell something else here. Sell the saddle horse. Do I need to sell the saddle horse? I actually don't need to sell the saddle horse. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's just get that, and we'll just buy a little bit of food here. Oh, wow, we need a lot of food, actually. Not a little bit. There's a little bit more. That's not too bad. And we're going to receive 2,200. That's nice. And is there anything else we want to do here? Not particularly, I suppose. So, I guess we'll make a brief stopover in Avendor and see if there is a ransom broker there. And then we'll see what's going on, and maybe we'll be able to... Oh, what's going on here? Surprise attack. Wolfbode the Slayer launches a surprise attack on the Ravenstern. Now, this is actually pretty good. If I was a vassal right now, I could take advantage of that, and I could take the town of Ravenstern after the Ravenstern vassals have fought off Wolfbode, and I might actually be able to get a fief that way. But that is very risky, because if I did attempt to do that and I failed in my mission, then I'd be in a very, very tough spot, because I'd have basically every single Ravenstern vassal breathing down my neck and wanting to slaughter me where I stand. So, yeah, that's probably not going to be a thing that we'll do. Kind of unfortunate, really, because I think that would have been a really nice opportunity. But again, we basically just have to try and earn as much honor and as much money as possible in the mid-game, because we're kind of in the sort of mid-game now rather than the early game, and it is much more important to get those two resources as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So maybe what I should start doing is asking around for some tasks and things like that, and maybe try to take the ones that are going to yield the best honor results. So for example, as you can see right here, 500 dinars is nothing to us. But you can see he murdered one of my men and has been on the run from his judgment ever since. And we might be able to gain some honor for this, actually. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, so where is Nomar? I hope it's not far away. Oh, no. Okay, well, yes, Baron Leofwine, yes, you're annoying. Yes, we know he's annoying now, don't we? Okay, well, never mind. I guess we're just going to go over in this direction, and we'll see what we can do, as I would like to try and earn as much honor as possible. I mean, literally, we have 12, which is really bad. I mean, you can see the base prestige cost of honor troops is 43, which is awful. It needs to be much, much lower than that to, you know, make any kind of sense for us to construct our first knighthood order. So let us make our way over to Nomar, and we'll do that, and then we'll, you know, refuse the reward, and hopefully that will give us some honor from that. Obviously, we are going to lose a little bit of relation with the town, or village in this case, for doing this, but I'm not I don't really mind too much about that, because I don't really recruit that often from villages and things, and especially not something that this is, you know, is that far away from Salian territory. So let's just see if I can find this guy quickly enough. I'm actually unsure where he's going to be. Is he going to be up here? Yeah, there he is. Do you see him? Do you see him? Yes. Suspicious man. He should be the suspicious man, not the nervous man, don't you think? Yeah, he seems rather suspicious, hiding behind, not even behind, but between two buildings. I don't understand, sir. I've never killed anyone. I think you've caught the wrong man. Well, then drop your sword. If you're innocent, you have nothing to fear. He's not going to drop his sword. I'm not going anywhere, friend. Okay, so I come not for the money, but to execute the law. Alright, so we'll just get ready. Oh, wow, this sword is huge. Okay, I was not aware of how massive this sword actually is. This is going to be difficult to handle, but I'm used to that, so it's okay. We should be fine. This guy really does not know what he's doing, because we have such a large reach. Wow, he has a lot of HP, actually. 49 plus 54 damage? That's a lot of HP, and he actually managed to survive. But there you go. Nice. That was a nice victory right there. Actually, you know what? Let's ask the village whether they need any assistance, because, there we go. We can actually teach them to defend themselves. I think this is actually going to give us a little bit of honor as well. I think it is. Don't quote me on that, because I could be incorrect. But anyway, I'm going to train these guys a little bit, and then we'll obviously do the obligatory bandit fight and everything, and I'll see you then. Okay, so I've literally just had a message that Wolfbode was defeated, and then I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna get a message that says that, you know, the bow has disappeared or whatever. And yes, it actually has, and it is who is our companion that actually left us, he was the one that obviously had it equipped, and he has lost it. And it actually said, Idis loses the bow. So it seems like the mod creators have thought of everything when it comes to a player trying to be a little bit sneaky in trying to keep the bow around for a little bit longer. So yeah, it seems like Wolfbode was defeated at Ravenstern, which is over there. I actually thought it was over to the right, hilariously enough. But yeah, he was defeated there, and that has caused the bow to disappear from the game. So yeah, I'm actually kind of, I don't know, I think it's a bit weird that the mod gives you that bow, and then it's like, oh, but it really depends on if the unique spawn stays alive, because the unique spawn is inevitably going to launch an attack against one of the larger towns and is probably going to lose, because if a bow is good against Wolfbode, then I don't know why he's attacking the Ravenstern, because they have insanely good archers. So it's kind of a bit illogical, I guess you could say. But I guess a bandit such as he is maybe not going to be too logical. But anyway, we are going to make sure that we win this. There are actually quite a few enemies to fight here, but we should be okay. I mean, I've got my new sword, of course, and hopefully it's gonna do well for me, although it did just miss its first attack, which is really not very good. Okay, I'm not used to using this sword at all. It is very good. It is very good, and don't get me wrong, but it's very slow in how it swings. But maybe I don't mind about that. I mean, you can see here that I could literally just stand here and just swing away at our opponent for an infinite amount of time, maybe until our horse goes down, I guess. But obviously we don't want our horse to go down, so I'm going to try and just get out of here a little bit. Don't really want to take too much damage either, just in case, because you never know, maybe there'll be someone nearby that will want to have a fight with us, and we won't really be prepared for it at that point. I'm very happy to have a horse that's capable of sustaining a little bit of extra damage though, even though technically Jatu Hunter horses are not particularly good at that. But it did a good job, it did well. And maybe I'll be able to eliminate this fella. Obviously using swords in Pendor, and indeed other mods that are significantly harder than native, like Pendor is kind of difficult sometimes, because you do generally have units like this guy, for example, that have very, very heavy armor in comparison to the standard kind of unit that you're going to be fighting, and you need to get exactly that kind of speed bonus to get any significant damage out. And that's exactly the reason why usually I will use a mace in the early game sort of area to just take out those hard units, and to also take them prisoner at the same time, because obviously that's a really, really good way of making money. But there you go. 9 renown, which is not too bad in itself, as well as 3 morale. And we also, oh yes, we're going to get honor from this too, which is actually really cool. Yes, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to refuse, and we're going to gain some honor from that. Very nice. And we now have 8 relation with this village, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We basically had a win-win situation right there, because we're going to be able to refuse the blood money from the Baron, and then we also were able to train up those peasants, which has given us a little bit of extra honor as well. I hope that it is actually going to give us some honor for refusing the blood money. I think it is. Yeah, because, oh, this is blood money, I can't accept it. You know, that sort of thing is going to happen. And now I don't exactly know where Baron Leofwine is. Oh dear. That might be a little bit worrying, but luckily there is a lady here that I can ask. I want to know the location of some idiot. Yes, there we go, Baron. He's currently at Sarlian. Ah, okay. Interesting. I'm kind of surprised that he's at Sarlian, because he was actually traveling in this direction, so I thought, he's coming to Avendor. Very good. Okay, well, apparently everyone in this episode is illogical for some reason. Okay, well, okay. Oh dear, this is not good. This is not good at all. Well, I guess we should be relatively well prepared for a fight such as this. We do have some very good units, and it's nice that I've been able to rescue a whole bunch of higher tier units from various other sources, I suppose you could say. But yeah, let's just be a little bit careful here, because they outnumber us significantly, 91 to 166, and this is exactly the reason why, obviously, Pendor and various other mods do tend to have a higher battle size, because it increases the difficulty significantly as well. So let's see what we can do here. I actually only have 12 archers, which is not great, but I'm going to move my people over here. I'm going to move the cavalry to follow me, and the archers can stand behind, hopefully on that little slope, to give them a little bit of an advantage. And we'll see how that's going to go. Hopefully it's going to go well. If it doesn't, then you can blame my... well, I can't really call it short-sightedness or anything like that, because I didn't even see them, which I suppose is the issue. So I guess lack of awareness. Yes, there we go. Lack of awareness, that's the thing. Oh no, don't stand closer. I want them to stand apart, and then we should tell these guys to stand closer. Okay, so let's tell the infantry just to charge straight on in here. And we do have Vansky warriors. These guys are going to be really, really good at what they do. I didn't want to go into that tree, though. The one tree, that literally happens every single time. It's literally, it's the bane of my existence. It really is. Just literally going in very, you know, steadfastly and being able to, you know, do some massive damage against someone, and then as soon as you attempt to do that, it's like, hello tree. Yeah, does that all the time. Now these guys do actually have very, very good units, which is not good. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna have to run into their archers, I guess, and just try and deal as much damage as possible. I mean, there's really nothing much more I can do, with the exception of just relying on my infantry to eliminate as many enemies as possible. They are obviously fielding extremely high-tier units. They have Kier Guards, for goodness sake, so, and they also have Ravenstone Knights, which is also bad. How many am I losing? I have literally, wow, I've got 36 left. Okay, I'm gonna have to retreat here. There's nothing much more I can do. I was able to eliminate 63 of them. That's not too bad, and we did gain a little bit of morale as a result of it, but you can see exactly what we've lost here. It is really bad, really bad. And I mean, that's the point. If you're just a little bit lax in your awareness and knowing exactly who is close by to you, and wow, we have an Empire vassal as well here. Are you serious? Okay, well, hopefully I'm going to be fast enough to get away from this situation. Yes, I am, but there's a whole bunch... Wow, you see that? Oh yes, Lethal Durin's obviously not happy with me. But anyway, you see there's a whole bunch of Ravenstone vassals in the area here. And let's actually just take a look at Count Raban and what he actually has in his army to make him so victorious so quickly. So you can see here that he actually has a whole bunch of horsemen and knights. And then on top of that, he has Ravenstone Rangers, Ravenstone Kier Guards, and he also has Ravenstone Highlanders. And those Highlanders, personally, I think they're really, really good. They obviously don't come with shields, as far as I'm aware, but for the most part, they are very powerful units. So let's go on to Sarlian here and just speak to the Baron, who is even more to blame and kind of even more annoying now, because I've had to come over here and almost gotten defeated as a result. So, oh, he's actually doing a what is it now? A campaign, I guess? Okay, so yeah, there you go. I found him. This is blood money. I can't accept it. You better give me that honor. Yeah, you better give me that. Yeah, that was costly. That was very costly indeed. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so we do have to visit Our Lady, but I'm going to be doing that in the next episode, as well as hopefully retrieving Sigismund. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.